relation to Human Rights Day, as we plan to cut the cake.
Freedom cake.
Yeah, maybe that's better. Because I was thinking of, I've been one of the expert on UN system, and in 1948, you know, Universal Declaration of Human Rights came up, which is actually a very important document. If we read it, it has many good things that we speak about today. But the unfortunate thing is that the states who came up with this document, they are the biggest violators. Violators of the rights that we are talking about today. When I was listening to Jonathan, Marcus, and Malcolm about the situation in Ireland and Philippines, I was just having the picture of my own country where I come from, and there are so many similar things that has been mentioned as the violations of people's rights and freedoms. For instance, there has been a lot of killings of journalists and human rights defenders in Pakistan, those who have been speaking against the state atrocities towards people, towards the comrades who have been resisting against the state's atrocities. The space for the human rights defenders, human rights organizations have been shrinking very drastically in Pakistan over the last few years. And I'm one of the perfect example of, because we get a lot of surveillance by the state intelligence agencies and questioning and questionnaires, and sometimes they raid the office, they take away the computer sometime to check in what's going on, what type of work we are doing. So this kind of oppression and suppression is, you know, very common in our situation also. One of the issue that we are facing in Pakistan, which has basically two-way process. One is from the state and one is from the non-state actors, and that is the attack on the religious freedom, and that is because we have a lot of extremist, intolerant, militant groups present in Pakistan. And if I just give you the number, what do you think of if I say that there are almost 50 extremist terrorist groups operating in my country? Those who do not believe on human rights, those who do not believe on women's rights, those who do not believe on religious freedom, they just believe on themselves that whatever they say is correct, and whoever will not accept, they will make them accept by force. And this is happening for over a decade now, that we have lost the lives of over 80,000 people in Pakistan because of this extremist, militant terrorism. There has been resistance within the people, but not much, because there hasn't been a response from the state, because directly or indirectly the state unfortunately support the militant terrorist groups. That's very unfortunate. But somebody had to come out, and the comrades in 2015, after a school was attacked in Peshawar, a city close to Afghan border, where more than 150 children were killed. And then we thought of coming up with a movement to counter extremism and terrorism in Pakistan. So we came up with a movement, and this movement is trying to resist the ongoing extremist mindset, the presence of extremist organizations, the militant outfits that we have, number of them. So we are trying to challenge them although we have very limited scope of work because we, on the one hand, we are target of the terrorist groups, on the other hand, we are target of the state operation. So that is the dilemma that we have while we are working in Pakistan. What could make difference is that the ongoing struggle and resistance that we have. Fortunately, we have now thousands of people who have joined this movement, who are working voluntarily and supporting the cause, and international solidarity from around the world, those who are supporting religious freedom, religious tolerance in Pakistan. And here also, I'm a visitor for a few weeks here, and I have found whoever I meet, the people are concerned about what's going on in Pakistan, and they are trying to express their solidarity towards the people. About the incident Julian has just mentioned, and this is not the first one. We have faced hundreds of such incidents where the people belonging to religious minorities. Pakistan is almost 193 million population country, sixth largest one in the world. And we have 95% Muslims living in Pakistan, and we have just 5% who are non-Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Sikh, Ahmadis, and few other groups. So there have been a target killing of the people belonging to religious minorities, their churches, temples, the properties have been attacked many times, and even there have been instances where people were burnt alive just because of their faith. So the recent attack took place in Quetta, the city bordering Iran and Afghanistan, where on last Sunday, the Sunday service was going on when two suicide bombers attacked. And there has been more than a dozen casualties and more than 50 worshippers. They are seriously injured. So that's the situation, and I think it's time for people like us to stay connected, to support each other's issues that we are working on, either it is Philippines, Canada, or Ireland. I mean, I'm very thankful to Louisa and other comrades who made it happen that I was able to visit the indigenous people who are struggling, and was able to observe some of the issues, human rights issues here in Canada. And what I was mentioning to Louisa was that the poor and the weaker are, their situation is same whether it is Canada or it is Pakistan. They are being exploited by the powerful, by those who are in power. But in the end, whatever the situation is, our motivation is, our passion is that we have to continue speaking for the rights of the marginalized, rights of the weaker people, freedoms for those who do not have the freedom or liberation of those who want liberation. Actually, Louisa was questioning me about this, and my answer was very straight. If a people of some origin do not want to live with a particular state, why the state does not give them freedom, let them be free? Because that's their right. If they do not want to live in a particular state, why the state does not allow them to decide democratically that they want to have a separate land, separate country, separate state? That's a very simple formula. And if we apply that in our world today, I think we can resolve a lot of conflicts. But unfortunately, the states are trying to oppress such movements rather than solving those problems. So that's the dilemma which is exploiting the things. I think this is what I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so people wanna come up and take a picture with the sign and the cake and then eat cake and talk while reading cake.
Maybe cake separate and these separate.
Yeah.
Because that will send a
It's
beautiful
We'll do
message.
this first and
It's
then
like
look at the cake.
It's like
Yeah.
that,
Because
it's like
it's like a
that.
contrast.